Hello, my name's Keith, and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to talk to you all about spiritual gifts. A little bit about spiritual gifts as to what I can teach about. So this is going to be a very exciting video. Welcome to the new people on this channel, but straight to the topic, spiritual gifts. There's a lot of them out there. I can't say every single one of them on here. I just can't. I know what I can say and I know what I can't say, but I'm going to say a whole lot on here. So the first spiritual gifts I'll talk about is clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience. So the biggest thing ever is I'm going to help you guys. It seems very helpful to tell you guys to focus less on the clear this, clear that, clear this, clear that, because they all open together. When you open them one by one, I've noticed they open together anyway, especially clairvoyance. So a simple Google search will tell you certain, because I'm not going to use most of the time in the video to talk about, oh, clairvoyance is intuition. You see it from, that's clairseeing, okay, we know that. This is, some people are like, well, I don't know that. A simple Google search. But to get into the meaty topic of this video is how you can open your clairvoyance, how you can open your clairaudience, how it actually works. Because sometimes I just flat out assume, oh, everyone knows how clairvoyance or clairaudience works. People think the visions are theirs. For example, when you have visions, psychic visions, when you have psychic insights, they're not yours. They're your guides giving them to you. That's how it works. It's that it's basically, it's not even your gifts. And people are like, yes, it is. It's God giving you a gift that belongs to him and he can take it back, but he's seeing what you do with it. So some of you reap very, very great rewards because you're very strong with your gifts. Like, you let nothing stop whatever is yours being yours, and you claim every aspect of your destiny with your gifts. But some of you are just like, oh, it's nice to have the gifts and to chill out at home, and some of you just like chill with the gifts. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Everyone's gifts are completely different. But when I talk about spiritual gifts, the clairvoyance is actually one of the most important ones. Why? It's because the third eye chakra, you have to know the third eye chakra. And yeah, the third eye chakra has to do with most of your gifts. So when the third eye opens, and people are like, there's this entire misconception about people saying, oh, I don't want my third eye open. You're literally saying, it's like, they're afraid to see. Basically what you're seeing is the truth. You're afraid to see the truth? Then you have other things to worry about if you're afraid to see the truth. You gotta do some shadow work, gotta work on other chakras before the third eye. But one thing about clairvoyance is when you open your clairvoyance, it activates other gifts. Why is that? It's because they open all together. They all unfold together. They open up very wide open when they are worked together. How fast can it take to open your clairvoyance or your clairaudience? Depends on now let's talk about some factors about spiritual gifts. You ever wonder why some people are so extremely spiritually gifted and some people have to really work for their gifts? We all have different natural sets of gifts. Yeah. So, for example, one person's a painter, one person's a musician. Some people can pick up a guitar and be like, dan, and some people pick it up and it's like, dan. So, you're gonna be upset at that person for being having some knowledge in it. And how, for example, if you're extremely clairvoyant in this lifetime, you had the gifts in a past life. They carried over. Because the spiritual body is older than the physical body. So it has nothing to do with your physical body. It has to do with the spiritual body. Let's talk about your spiritual gifts of, let's stay on that topic for a second. Because when you work with crystals such as larvakite, pneumite, all these different past life, astrophyllite, there we go, I said it correctly. When you work with these different crystals of past lives, just by opening your past life, because what do I mean by open a past life? So past life regression can be a gift, but you don't want to spend too much time in that. So you recover what you have to from the past, and then you move forward. So think about it like that. So pneumite opens your gifts, and how does it normally work? It's different for everyone. For me, when I open my past lives, what I mean by open my past lives, basically, you recover a memory from your past lives, and you wake up into this life. Like, you just take a nap and you wake up with all this different knowledge. For example, I can see some of my cousins in past lives, and They're not here, let's just say that. But and I see what they're doing. A lot of them are doing crystal related stuff very interestingly, and I can see different conversations that occurred and how they it's just super interesting, because I'm seeing like I'm talking specifically about my past lives, so they're pretty general. So spiritual gift of past life regression and going into past lives, you uncover different parts and aspects about yourself. And one thing about past lives is sometimes when you go deep into the past, you actually find out where your gift might you were learning about a gift and then the learning stopped, or you were learning about the gift and the learning began again. So you get to learn from what visions you left off on, what adventures you left off on, so you don't have to restart everything all over again. So there are some people who have their gifts taken away in past lives because people get evil with their gifts, or people get egotistical or nasty or rude or mean with people, and the creator will just be like, okay, this person's just foul, and they'll just like block the gifts. So they'll just take the gifts back. They'll just give it to someone else, or this person will have to re-earn it, or if that's even possible. But the thing with gifts is that when you go into a past life, you can revive some of them. So it's like you don't want to spend too much time in your past lives, simply because too much in the past prevents the future from moving forward. So if you've had extremely powerful, okay, I just heard someone fall down. Okay, let me go just to see if anyone needs help. Just opening a window. But if you see, with these spiritual gifts of tapping into past lives, tapping into I'm gonna check after this video because I heard someone fall. So it sounded like a skateboard or something. It was a large clunk. It wasn't something normal. But a spiritual gift is a spiritual gift of discernment as well. Let's talk about discernment and going into past lives of discernment. So when you discern in past lives, when you go into past lives and you're able to tell which gifts did what. For example, let's just say you're someone who is good with your hands in a past life. Why does that apply? It's because, for example, clairtangency is when you touch an object, you can go straight back in time. People are like, well, I thought that was clairalience or this, that. They blend. The gifts go hand in hand. They blend together. So some gifts, such as the gift of the hands, you can, for example, you'll pick up, and this is something you guys can try, you'll pick up a coin on the ground, and you'll just feel the coin in your hand, and you'll close your eyes. You activate your clairvoyance and clairtangency. And yes, I'm looking around. So you'll close your eyes, and you'll just look into your third eye, or what they call the mind's eye or imagination, and you'll go to a place of where that coin was. So you'll actually see the last person who held the coin. You'll etc, 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 etc. And what do I mean etc? Because it's different for everyone. So that person would have had like a Starbucks, and they walked to the parking lot, and they went to their pockets and they dropped the coin, etc. So different gifts such as claircognizance, clairvoyance, intuition. So it's very interesting before I talk to people, and this is why I actually reserve who I talk to, which you guys should do the same thing, because when your gifts open to a certain point, you meet the person even before you meet them. The introductions are very important, but you'll meet the person, and Floridians are being Floridians today. When I say Floridians are being Floridians, when you see someone do 30 on a 10 speed limit, it's just like, okay. But when it comes to picking up coins and going back into time of who owned that coin, where that coin has been, etc., it allows you to really tap into different aspects of your third eye based on feeling. So same thing with conversations. You guys can do this too. Some of you do it anyway. You'll see someone and you'll just be like, I don't want to talk to them, because I know when I talk to them, this person's gonna leak some negative energy. Or on the contrary, you'll just feel like, hey, I should talk to this person because I feel like there's something really good about this person, so why don't I introduce myself? Even if you're a shy person, just be like, there's something good about this person's energy, so I'm gonna put myself out there. And you know what, you could be wrong, but who cares if you're wrong? That's experience under your belt. So the biggest thing with clairvoyance, let me talk about one room of error for clairvoyance and clairaudience and all these other gifts. If you heard something incorrectly when you're first starting out, who cares? If it's not something important, if it's not something too major, then it doesn't really matter. So what was the word? My angel said something like a couple days ago, and angels, when they talk, some of what they say is so very vocabulary. I mean, very deep in vocabulary, very intricate, and I'm just like, and sometimes they won't repeat it. They'll just be like, "Well, try to guess what I said," and I'm like, "Can you repeat it, please?" And he's like, "Try to just give it a shot." He said something about like some kind of long word for something about synchronization, and I'm just like, population? I'm like, I don't, because I heard the end of it and I'm just like, can you please say it again? So it doesn't matter, because sometimes just you trying to hear it makes you more adept at being able to hear it. It makes you more receptive to being able to hear it. So a lot of people will get really into their ego or really upset or frustrated because I talked to this is actually a really good example. I talked to someone who's on skateboards, who's a good skateboard artist, I don't know, skateboarder, and the person's very good at being on skateboards. And when I tried it when I was young, I realized it wasn't for me, because you have to, I kept hitting the ground, and I'm like, you have to hit your face on the ground so many times as to where you don't care about hitting your face on the ground to get really good at skateboarding. Same thing applies with spiritual gifts. I like this example a lot. When I like an example, I'm just like, I like this example. Yay! Hooray! I love this example. So, because I'll probably use it again in the future. But with your spiritual gifts, when you don't see something correctly, who cares? You're practicing. It's not, if it's a life or death situation, you probably shouldn't be using your, you could use your gifts for it, but you should be talking to God first. Instead of for your discernment from your guide, you talk to God about it first. You go straight to God. So when it's something really important, and sometimes God will override your gifts and just be like, okay, I'll help you out here. And you won't have to search into your gifts to be able to help yourself. So if it's something mild, then yeah, practice with your gifts. It's nothing too serious. So even my angels right now, they say different words. And let's talk about clairaudience for a second, because clairaudience is a really easy gift to open, but it takes time. So the angels will say very long words as if they have a dictionary, which they kind of do. The angels have a dictionary for minds. They're very intelligent. But when you hear your angels, it first starts off as you hearing them inside your head. So how do you know the difference between you and your angels talking? Well, they're going to use your voice at first. They'll change to their voice after you get used to hearing them through your voice, because it's a spiritual law that indicates that you have to hear them through your voice first, because it's not going to be invasion. Because some people will lose their mind with having another voice talk in their head. They'll think they're schizophrenic. But disclaimer, this is a spiritual video. How do you know it's your guide? Because they'll say things that you have no idea and it's completely correct. They'll say things that you might have to translate into another language. They'll say things that it's just like you have to research it when you get home. They'll say things and it's just like, but yeah, it was sweaty today. I was sweating today. It was hot outside, which is good. And they'll say things and it's just like, what? Which I find myself doing very often. And it's just like, what does that mean? Now I'll have a new vocabulary word, because angels they're going to teach you. They're going to push you in the right direction. So even if you say, hey, how are you? How are you doing? They'll just say, they'll say splendid or something like that. Or they'll say a word that means good, and you'll have to look it up and like, okay, good. So you know it was your angel versus you doing it as well. So depends, because sometimes they'll just say, I'm doing fine, I'm doing good. Now, after a while of hearing them inside your head, you're going to hear them outside your head. You'll actually hear their voices outside your ears. So why that happens is that's clairaudience, by the way. So why that happens like that, I'm not really sure. I'm still studying the meaning behind it, but you hear them as if they're a person in the car next to you, or as if there's a bunch of people in your car, or as if you're in a busy restaurant, or as if you're in like a crowd of people and you can hear all these different. And sometimes it won't drive you crazy because you're used to it to the point where it would open to when you get used to it. So it's not annoying. If you don't like it, then they turn it off. So it's pretty cool because they're all having different conversations. They're all talking to each other. Some of them make jokes. Some of them, they basically agree or disagree with what you say. Another big thing as well is when you have clairaudience is be open to when your angels disagree with you. It's okay to be wrong. We're humans, but listen to our beautiful guides. So clairaudience, which is in the throat chakra, clairvoyance, the big spiritual gifts that I could talk about. Those gifts are very powerful because it helps you feel much more at peace and at home in the spiritual realm while you're in your body on earth. These are beautiful gifts that you have to go through the Most High God to have because they're His gifts given to you. If you have any questions, you can ask them in the comment section. What's an easy way to open gifts? Crystals. All crystals, not just the gift crystals. So a lot of people's gifts are opened by black tourmaline. Why is that? It's because it unblocks other gifts and it removes people's attachments from even past lives on your gifts. So what if someone put their energy on yours and that's why you can't access your gift? You'd wear tourmaline as a necklace especially, and that would clear that up. If you have any questions, guys, ask them in the comment section. Make sure you check out FloridaStoneman.com. I'm putting new beautiful jewelry on the website. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao!